Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. How everybody doing this morning? Welcome to the Fragrance Plug, your morning source for all things scent. Hope y'all are having a great day, man. It's Tuesday. Got a little bit planned today. We got a few more how did they say? We got a few Eldo fragrances that we're gonna be. Yeah, one of y'all taught me that yesterday. We got a few Eldo fragrances that we're gonna be tapping into. We got 3 of them actually, and then we are gonna be talking about 2 topics. There's 2 things that I want to talk about. The first question is Dubai the fragrance capital of the world? The second topic, we're gonna be talking about niche versus designers versus indies. We're gonna talk about why we like these, why we like certain ones so much, which ones do we gravitate to more, and which one do we think will lead in the long run? Because right now I'm seeing that everything in the fragrance community kind of happens in waves. So we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But check into the chat, see how y'all doing. Make sure y'all drop y'all send of the days as y'all make y'all way in. We definitely appreciate it. I know yesterday, I'm telling you, bro. Hey, if you look, I told y'all yesterday, even if you saw my post, send of the day yesterday was Imperium X. Fam, I got so many compliments yesterday with this thing, bro. I got so many compliments with this thing. Bro, this one, Imperium X, and I got to gas it past. So we're going to talk about it a little bit later. I'm not going to dive into it too much right now. But Imperium X, when it comes to how I wear it, besides how I feel, because it's a fragrance that I truly do like. So regardless if anybody else says anything positive about it or not, it's not going to sway my opinion on it, because I like it. But like wearing it and the compliments, fam, the compliments, bro, I think I got like 4 compliments throughout the whole day. 2 of them was from my coworkers, and one of them I was kind of surprised they even picked it up, because I was walking past them, and then I got a few steps ahead of them, and then they was like, "Oh my gosh, she was like, yeah, whatever you got on, keep it, keep it in the rotation." So yeah, fam, like this is a great, amazing fragrance, and I'm telling you, I think I picked mine up for less than $30. That is amazing, bro. You really can't beat that. Let me check into the chat and see what we got going on. Time is sense. Good morning, D4G in chat. Sin of the day, Latafa Jasor layered with Mason Alhambra. Yeah, there you go. Hey, I do want to let y'all know something, man. We are. Remember, I told y'all we was going to be doing a rebranding, and I'm working on it. Like this name is going to be the Fragrance Plug, like, cause I'm gonna be y'all's. I don't even think I told y'all while I changed the name to the Fragrance Plug. Okay, so just so we can go over that, and then we'll get straight into the show. The main reason why I changed my name over to the Fragrance Plug is, one, I think it just makes more sense business-wise, because it gives people a direction of what you're actually here for. Like, I don't know, like when you hear D4G fragrance, it's cool. Like, you know they talk about fragrances, but like, what else is there? What can I go there for? What am I here for? Like, just because you talk about fragrances, okay, cool. Whereas with the Fragrance Plug, in the direction that I want to go with this is, yeah, and I've been doing this for a little while, so y'all can kind of already see it. But now I'm working to make myself that place to where, or that network, I guess you could say, to where you can just go to want to know anything. Like, I want to get this channel to where, I want to get this channel to where I can basically become like y'all middleman for anything that's new dropping, anything that's going on sale, anytime a website has a great price and they need somebody to showcase it first, because they know we got an army behind us over here. Then yeah, we got an army that we're growing over here. So yeah, I want to be able to bring y'all things at an affordable price that you can trust, that you don't have to worry about trying to go to Amazon or eBay on. You don't have to worry about looking up the price. All you have to do is say, Fragrance Plug, let me go check them out. And that's where y'all going. That's where it's going to go. So I'm really trying to get it to where I can just be y'all person for anything that y'all need. When a price drops, when a new fragrance is getting ready to release, when a fragrance has been stocked up on a website that we trust, I want to be able to let y'all know that. Let's see. Scent of the day. Ready? Yo, Dakota, what up, man? What up, dog? Hey, howdy D4G in chat. Scent of the day. Oliver by Strangers Perfume. Best high heat fragrance I have so far. That sounds like it might be in like that niche in indie vein. Let me know. The fragrance plug is perfect for the channel. Great call. Out with the old, in with the new. Yeah, man. That's exactly how it is. I'm about to get a logo and everything made. Kicks. What up, man? Appreciate y'all for stopping by, man. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. I got 3 fragrances, and the best part about these Eldo fragrances is this right here. They all have English names. I can pronounce all of these, bro. I can pronounce all 3 of these. The first one we have is gonna be Remarkable People. So we're gonna tap into that one first, and let's see how this one's gonna be coming up. Now, again, all 3 of these are gonna be simple names. Now, these 3, I do think that on the bottom half of this discovery set, I do think that all these are gonna be like unisex down here, like high unisex fragrances. Where the other ones, even though they said unisex, I don't know, they seem to lean a little bit more feminine or masculine depending on the scent. So let's tap into it real quick. We got 3 of them things. Got Remarkable People first. Let's see how this is gonna be. Bro, I'm telling you, the atomizers are trash. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck with you. The atomizers are trash. But the fragrances aren't that bad. Okay, so you definitely have like a little bit of a synthetic feel with this one. So it is slightly synthetic. Freshness, so you do get a little bit of like citrus freshness up top with it as well. I don't know if this one smells kind of flat, man. Hold on. Because it almost has like a bubbly sense to it also, which is kind of crazy. It almost has like a bubbly sense to it. Somewhat spicy at the same time, but okay, yeah. So on skin, you still get that freshness, so it definitely is coming off like a bergamot, grapefruit type of citrus, very tart in a way. And then you also get like a slight fresh spicy mix. Like it's somewhat spicy, but it's much more so on the green side of things. And then it has like this one part that's just extremely like bubbly. Like almost fizzy in a way, like think of the fizz that you get in like a My Hero Legacy Silver, like that mint combination it is giving out. It's not mint, but this is giving off like an extremely, like think of a Sprite. Think of like a Sprite, like the fizz, except this one's just a little flat. Like it's really coming off like that, with a little bit of undertone of some spice. But I'm telling you, this was much more so gonna be like a green type of spice. Like it's much more so of a green profile. Not bad. But I will say this one is a lot more likable than some of the other ones. Now, I Am Trash is still gonna be the top fragrance that we tried from the Eldo line so far. But this one right here is one to where it might not be the biggest one for me, but I can still see this one being more popular than most of the ones that we've tried so far. And I think that this one, hold up. And I think that this one would be better for ladies. I can still see this one being extremely unisex, but I can really see this one shining with the ladies. And I really think it's going to be because of whatever is giving it that fizz, that pop, that like Sprite-like opening. Whatever it is that's giving it that, I think that's the main player in this one. And it almost, hold on. It's almost coming off like a creamy mix too. Like this is a nice fragrance. Absolutely, this one is a nice one. I'm gonna let this one dry down for a little bit. But Remarkable People is looking promising so far. Again, I think that one might be a little bit more leaning for the ladies. Just because again, that fizz, whatever that pop is that it has in it, is there. But a very beautiful fragrance. I like the slight green, that fresh spicy aspect of it, because it's not leaning too much green, but it's not leaning too much spicy. It's like a very nice mixture between the two. So I do like that. I think that was real nice. We're going to chop over to, I think the next one, let me see. She was an anomaly. Yeah, that's the next one that we have. Sometimes I do wonder where they come up with these names at, but she was an anomaly. I'm about to tap into this one. I can definitely expect this fragrance to be leaning feminine, just because of the name. Hold on, real quick. Okay. Hold on, let me put the chat back up. Let me see, make sure I ain't missing nothing in the chat. Oh yeah, y'all chopping it up. Good shit. That's what I like to hear. I love it. I love Frag Queen. Okay, love the name. Hey, I appreciate you, Frag Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Everything good. Okay, I see you, Bo. What up, man? Glad to have you in the building, man. Glad to have you in the building, Bo. What's good? Yeah, now this one, she is an anomaly. This one is leaning feminine for sure. This one's definitely leaning on the feminine side. Now the one thing, this one almost has like, let me move this out of the way. This one almost has like a somewhat pasty style opening. Like think of like I ain't gonna hold you. Think of like a glue stick. Like that's kind of how this is coming off, fam. Think of like a glue stick. I'm not BSing you. That's kind of what I'm getting as a collection in the opening. Like I don't know about this one. It's floral for sure. It definitely has some floral cues in there. Slightly smoky ass also, but I don't think that this one, yeah, she was an anomaly. She was a tragedy. This one ain't hitting. Nah, this one is not hitting. Oh my gosh. And even when I spray more, I'm getting so much like harshness right now. Extremely synthetic. So it's definitely leaning a little bit more floral. You can't pick up like I don't even know if this is just the harshness or if it's like a slight smoke aspect that I'm getting in this one. Ooh, these fragrances have been hard, man. It hasn't been too many fragrances in this Eldo collection that has just wowed me or just even made me excited. This one ain't doing it. The first one that we went into, Remarkable People, it was nice. And even as Remarkable People still sitting there, it is still nice. This one can go back on like with the other fragrances that we've tried in this line to where it's nothing to where I wouldn't even buy this for a gift for somebody like my lady or something. Floral. I ain't gonna lie, this almost reminds me of like a new car smell on the cool too. I don't know what this is. Hey. Nah. This one ain't hitting. And this was supposed to be leaning a lot more feminine too. And this one I'm not getting anything from She Was an Anomaly. I don't know about this one. Dakota, what you think? Is it good? Is it good like in a masculine sense? Is it good like feminine leaning? Like, is it one that you wear? Is it one that your lady, your soon to be wife is wearing? Like, which one? Because right now I don't know if it's like the decant that I got. I got it from the official website, so I don't know, but it's not. But like this, the decant that I'm getting right now is not giving a good representation of the quality of the fragrance. Like it's not. It's not doing it for me right now for some reason. I don't know what it is. Did I try Jasmine? Let me see. I don't even know if I have that one in here. Nah, I don't have that one in here. The last one I have is a Story of My Life that we were going to tap into today. Oh, Story of Your Life. That was going to be the last one. But I don't have that one in the set. Okay, boom. Let's switch over here. Ah, man, yeah, you gotta go back and watch. Look, we still here. It's still, it's still Maurice. Mo is still here. We just working on the direction with the channel. So yeah, I talked about that a little, like at the intro, at the beginning of it. I enjoy it more than my wife does. LOL. So yes, I do find it good. Okay, cool. Cool. That's what's up then. See now we're starting to like that. The whatever floral aspect that it had is coming out slightly a little bit better. You can now start to pick up some of that incense or like a slight smoky aspect with it. But we got to see, man. We're going to tap into one more real quick. We're going to tap into one more. The last one is Story of Your Life. We'll do this one over here. Story of Your Life. Let's tap into it and let's see how this one's going to come off. And then I'm ready to talk about this Dubai, and I'm ready to get y'all input on some of these other things also that I got to talk about. So, oh my gosh. Now, this one is a little different. This one is definitely like on that. Like, you would almost think that this was like a Middle Eastern, a Latafa. Like, you would think that this was in that realm. Very much so has like an Oriental opening to it. Oh my gosh. This one's definitely going to be considered a gourmand because you got some type of sweet facets to it. It's a lot more sugary than I thought. Like, initially I got like some spices, like the Oriental spice. I got a little bit of woods. But as I'm sitting here smelling it now, I'm getting so much more of a gourmand take. Like, you get the cacao. You definitely get like a chocolate feel from it. Almost smells like it has some caramel in it also. And then it's also slightly boozy. This might be the best one. Now, Story of My Life or Story of Your Life. Yeah. Story of Your Life might be the best one so far. At least from today. I'm liking this one. And one thing I will say, this one, even though I am saying that it's a gourmand, it is going to be much more so in that chocolate cacao mix of a gourmand with a slight boozy undertone. But one other thing, this one might have like some type of added sugar to it because I'm getting a little bit thicker sweetness than what I would get from just the cacao itself. Like, this is almost reminding me of, like, the way the sweetness is coming off in this is almost kind of reminding me of coconut daiquiri, the one that Need made with Spink's Fragrances, and how it has that sugar in it is definitely coming off like that because it's still giving me like that sugar sweetness, but mixing with some cacao, some chocolate also. I like this. I like this one. Story of My Life is nice. I can see that one. Now, that one is one of those where I can see it for myself, but at the same time, like, because it is coming off gourmandish, I can see my lady rocking that one too. So that one is extreme. Like, I'm rocking with that one. Let's go back and we're going to tap into the first one real quick just to see how it transitioned. And then we're going to go into our next topics. Let me see. Right there. Okay. Remarkable People is a hit. I like Remarkable People. I like Remarkable People. Still fresh. It smells like that grapefruit is coming out a lot more in it. And it almost smells like it's going towards like a shower gel direction. Much better than, yeah. One of the best ones that we've got into so far. This one is nice. Remarkable People is a hit. Now, it's not one to where I say, you don't need no full 100. But if you can get a 50 or something, it would be nice to have to the collection because it adds a little bit of uniqueness to it. She Was an Anomaly. Hey. Can't do it. When it comes to She Was an Anomaly, that one's not for me. That one's not for me. I'm not really picking up too much from it. Like, it's extremely fat. I'm not really getting. It's almost like right now it's going into like a somewhat of a woody sense on mine. So I'm cool with that one. And then, yeah, Story of Your Life is nice. Gourmandish. Definitely does have like an Oriental take to it, so you do have to be a fan of that also. But I like that one. That one is absolutely nice. I'm rocking with it. Okay. Let me put these to the side, and then we're gonna. So today, I say I give them 2 out of 3. I give them 2 out of 3 because I can see myself getting either Story of my life or remarkable people. Either one of those two, I can see myself adding that to the collection. All right, now let's switch over. Let's go back to the live stream real quick. And then we do have a few questions that I want to ask. Got to get my notes and everything ready. All right. So let's ask this question. Is Dubai the fragrance capital? Now, there was a few things that sparked this conversation because I was reading an article. I think it was on iFragrance News. I think it was up there. And they had asked the question, and it made me really start to think, is Dubai the fragrance capital of the world? Now, when we look at this, we have to look at it from somewhat of a historical take, because I would like to think that before, let's just say 2000, let's just say 2020. Before 2020, perfume was basically like a French, Paris, like a Europe thing. Like, not saying that it originated over there, but they were really known for like their craftsmanship, their artistry, really, when it comes to perfume, because of just the elegance of how they do things. Then there was a time to where when 2020 around COVID time is when I first remember picking it up. Was when I first heard about a Latapa fragrance. And the first Latapa fragrance I ever heard of or about was Oud for Glory. Shout out to my guy Jeremy over at House of Colossus. That was my first time being introduced to Middle Eastern fragrances, or even just affordable fragrances like what we've been getting or what we've been talking about lately. One of the things that I want to ask about when we first started this conversation is this. I want to take two standpoints. I want to talk about it from a general consumer standpoint, and then I want to talk about it from a fragrance enthusiast. If you ask a general consumer, somebody who just normally gets their fragrances from a Macy's, Dillard's, a mall, a storefront, basically. They go to the store to get theirs. They're not going to have as much insight and knowledge. They're not going to know exactly what or who would be listed as the top fragrance, or why Dubai is even making, the Middle East is making the rain that it is. Whereas with us enthusiasts, we can tell you about everything from, we can tell you about the Latapas, we can tell you about stuff that you can find at the mall, we can tell you about the underground stuff, Facebook Marketplace. Like, we can tell you so much that goes into it. And one of the first things that I think that really sparked this conversation was when we first got introduced to Oud. Now, I can't really tell you my first experience with Oud, because I want to say it might have been Oud for Glory. But just on a general market standpoint, the first time, and I did a little research, the first time we got introduced to Oud on like a mass scale was M7. That was one of the first one, and that was the one that really interested. And from there, that's when we got introduced to incense in our fragrances. That's when we got introduced to Oud in our fragrances. That's when we got introduced to notes like saffron in our fragrances. And it made those somewhat more earthy fragrances a little bit more popular. And I think that at one point it was a lot more like fresh shower gel, easy to wear fragrances when we first got, like, let's just say pre-2020. It was always fresh, clean, inoffensive, like a straight line and narrow type of fragrance. Then you have the Middle Eastern fragrance companies, or the Oriental, I don't know how we're going to list that. But we have the fragrance companies from the Middle East. They come in and they introduce us to spices. They introduce us to Oud. They introduce us to a much more, I don't even want to say unique, but maybe daring or maybe challenging way to wear a fragrance, to style a fragrance. Maybe notes that we might not know about. Let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know if I'm tripping. Please let me know if y'all don't think that, if y'all think that I'm wrong when it comes to us being introduced heavily to ouds, leathers, spices, things like that. Those more earthy notes when we got introduced to the Middle Eastern side of fragrances. The second thing, and this is where one of the biggest controversies with this whole thing is this. And this is where I think that the bigger brands they're gonna have a hard time with this, is that you can make a fragrance and it can be cloned within a month. And sometimes the inspirations and clones that we get from the original fragrances are better. They are definitely better. You got to look at it like this, because the fragrances that come out of the Middle East, not only sometimes are they better, but you get a lot more bang for your buck, and you get a better cost value for what you're paying. Some of the presentations that we get with these affordable companies blow designer fragrances out of the water. It's not even a competition, fam. And then you also have to look at it from, if we're going to stay on the price standpoint of things, you have to look at it like this. A lot of these Middle Eastern and affordable fragrances that we do buy, you can pick them up for $40. B.O.B. safe style fragrances, you know what I mean? Where you're not breaking the bank, and sometimes you get a lot more than what you would get with the designers or a fragrance that you could pick up at a mall. You get a much better presentation. Sometimes the scent profile is better because they might have made certain tweaks and twists. They might listen to the people and say, hey, you know what? We see that y'all like X, Y, and Z, but y'all didn't like this one note, or y'all didn't like the transition. Boom, we're going to change this. We're going to make it a little bit more floral. Make it a little bit more gourmandish, whatever it might take. That'll take away the one thing that y'all dislike about a fragrance. I think that the budget is one thing that is gonna have to make designers either step their game up, because you can't continue to do, and this is one thing, I really haven't seen this with any of the Middle Eastern fragrances, but one thing I'm noticing, and this has been going on for a while with the designers, is where I'm cool with getting the EDT, the EDP, the parfum. I get that. When we start going into these elixirs and these EDP intenses and these all these, I can't even pronounce all this shit sometimes. But it's like we're not getting much of a difference with the designers when they drop a new fragrance compared to with some of these affordable joints, bruh, they knocking it out of the water. We're getting new fragrances, we're getting new scent profiles, we're getting every new packaging. Like, it's kind of hard to knock what you get in a affordable Middle Eastern fragrance compared to what you get in designers. And then even if we just take the presentation, how it looks, even when we take the fragrance itself, they're not separating themselves too much. Now, there are some asterisks, because there are some designer fragrances that really do shine and stand out no matter what you try to clone. You're not going to be able to touch them. Dior Sauvage does a real good job of that. Chanel, Paco Rabanne does a real good job of that. Bleu de Chanel does a real good job of that, to where you can clone a fragrance. You can clone one of their inspirations, but it's not going to be comparable. Where sometimes fragrances like a John Barbados, Moschino, like those, they're a little bit more. For some reason, I noticed that the clone companies are able to get those a lot closer, whereas it's kind of hard to get that in Broxton that's in a Dior Sauvage to like match in an affordable Middle Eastern. So yeah, quality could possibly be where they could make up, some of these designer brands could make up ground. But let me ask you this. If you're looking at a $40 clone fragrance, and then you're looking at a $120 designer fragrance of the exact same DNA, which one are you more likely to go with? I personally would like to think the more people would go towards the $40 a clone affordable, especially if they just smell them side by side, no price tag, just smell it, boom boom. Which one you like? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I am curious to see how they manage to keep their fragrances so cheap. I am too, fam. And it's one of those things where we're not gonna know it now because we're still somewhat in the early phases of like this whole Middle Eastern fragrance takeover that we have right now. I don't think that it's gonna be until it's like later on down the line. And hopefully, God forbid, it's not because of like any type of health implications or anything like that. But because we really don't know what's in these fragrances at all. But I don't think that that's something that we'll know until later on down the line. I don't think that we can know that right now in our current state because it's still in the early phases of it. I don't even think that with our introduction to these Middle Eastern companies, like the way we've been getting, I don't even think it's 5 years old yet. I don't even think it's 3 years. So we're still in the early phases of that, to where we might have a little while to go before we actually see any true implications of how this could be affecting us. Now, the other thing, and this is one of the, outside of price, this is the one last thing that I think would knock the Middle Eastern fragrances when it comes to, are they the fragrance capital? The one thing that I dislike, but I can't, it's not really something that I can really gripe about because it's business, so I understand business. I just don't like it as a consumer. But one thing that I do say that's the biggest difference when it comes to designers versus Middle Eastern fragrances is that designer fragrances, as soon as you get it out the box, they're good to go. You don't have to wait for a designer fragrance to macerate or anything. You can spray that one and go. And it's because most of the time when designers, when they make fragrances, it's planned. They already know what's coming out. They might know what fragrance they're going to drop a whole year ahead of time. So when they get to making the formula, and then they get the packaging and the presentation and all that stuff, they might have all that done within 4 or 5 months of production, the whole line. Then after that, they normally let them sit there for a while to let that process of, I forgot what it's called exactly, but it's almost like just a longer maceration process before it hits the consumer. Whereas with some of the Middle Eastern fragrances that we get, as soon as it come out the line, it's like the Little Caesars, man. They shit hot and ready. Like as soon as it comes out the line, they putting it out there. There's no maceration process. We have to wait for the process to macerate. And that's where I think that at times it throws us off with our fragrance experience when it comes to Middle Eastern fragrances, because you might be, let me ask you this. How many times have y'all bought an affordable fragrance, a BOB safe fragrance, sprayed it initially, didn't think much of it, go back and visit it 4 to 6 months later, and your mind is blown? You didn't know, like, at first when you tried it, it was extremely harsh. Now 6 months later, it's smooth. You can pick up more of the notes. You can pick up more of the profile. I know I'm not the only one that's happened to. And I think that that's one of the main things, or the main differences when it comes from designers to the Middle Eastern affordable companies, is that you don't have to wait for them. Designers, you can spray and go right out the bat. Whereas with some of the Middle Easterns, if you spray it, if it's harsh, you might have to let that thing sit there for like 4 to 6 months. It's not going to be something where you can actually just wear right out the gate. I think everything has its place. Designers are not going anywhere because if people only shop in stores. True. I don't think the designer's going anywhere. But I do think that it's going to get to a point to where if they don't fix something marketing-wise, they don't try to do something like on the creative side, that they're going to lose a lot more business than they think to some of the Middle Eastern clone companies. Like, bruh, it's already, put it like this, Chanel is already striking people's channels for copyright for using clone fragrances or saying that this is comparable to this. So that's why you're seeing a lot of fragrance content creators that are making the switch from mentioning anything that deals with the clones, or deals with the originals, and that mostly just speaks to the clones. So Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a shift changing right now for sure. Astonish and Indy, I think some of them price themselves out of the market and they ask for a premium without being established. Hold that thought, William. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that for sure. I got a little bit more time. Well, I don't know. We might. I think I got some more time. I really want to talk about this niche versus indie. Chanel got to chill. Hey, I agree, fam. I know they don't. I think they were the ones that went after Neve, and then I also saw another fragrance creator got hit on his. I forgot what clone he was talking about, but I know it was Chanel though. He said. So one more topic that I want to talk about, and I really want to go over niche, designer, and indie. And I really want to know, which one do you gravitate towards? This is much more so going to be a conversation about like just opinions. Individuals, which one do you gravitate towards? That's all I want to know. That's all this conversation is about. So we know our niche fragrances, Parfums de Marley's, our Amouage, hell, even Mind Games, niche. All they do is cover, all they talk about and all they cover are fragrances. They don't make no clothes, they don't make no jewelry. All they do is fragrances. Hell, Eldo might be a daggone Eldo might be a niche. Then you got the designers, of course, the things that you can get at your mall, your YSLs. Most of the time, your designers have like some type of big corporate backing. So your YSLs, your Chanel's, your Dior's, your Dolce & Gabbana's, John Barbados, Big Paco Rabanne. Yeah, those are going to be your designers. And then your indies, going to be things like Heads Parfums, you know what I'm saying? Nazar Fragrances from the Oiled Up line. This might be my scent of the day. Yeah. Those are indies are mostly gonna be fragrances where it's like it's just one person backing the whole thing. It's not a big corporation. One person is normally making the fragrance themselves. They're normally packaging it. Like it's very much individualized. Let's talk. Which one out of the three do y'all normally gravitate to? Now I'm gonna start off with designers. If I had to go off of this list right now, out of these three, I definitely would say I would be considered a designer whore when it comes to fragrances. Like I love me some designer fragrances, but the thing is, it's a couple of things to like about them. One, easy access because you can go to the mall and sample them. You don't have to wait for anything. You can just spray on and go. Two, they're very likable, bro. It's rare that designer fragrances, especially the ones like the big retail designer fragrances, it's rare that they do something that's outside of the bubble. You know what I'm saying? They try to do the best in giving you mass appealing fragrances that are easy to wear, easy to like, and that can garner you compliments. You got to enjoy that aspect of things. Niche fragrances, I think sometimes, and this could be the case with niche and indie, and I think Dakota said it earlier. Sometimes niche and indie brands think they got too much dip on their chip. Right, especially when it comes to indie brand. I saw somebody that just released a brand, just started a brand, and they talking about $200 for 50 ml. And this was on Facebook, I think it was. And my thing is, how is it that you, as an indie, can come out and try to command or ask for so much without even doing any marketing? If it wasn't for me logging into Facebook today, I wouldn't have seen it because it's not on YouTube, it's not on TikTok, it's not on Instagram. So you don't really have the social pushing that could really allow you to elevate yourself or even command that type of price. Sometimes I think the indies do get a little bit too much dip on their chip. And that's where, when it comes to all three of these, I'm curious as to know the grade of oils or concentrations that are being used. Because for you to be somebody that's an indie brand coming out and you're asking $200 for a 50 ml, I'm expecting you to have amazing quality. Like your quality needs to be up there with the private blends, all these other things. Like your quality needs to blow designers out of the water. And designer is already a pretty safe quality fragrance to have already. So when it comes to indies asking for this price tag, the only thing that I can see the prices that are outrageous being justified is because they're using top quality fragrance oils or concentrations, and they, with them being a part of that business, now they have that network background to where they can actually see, okay, well, a grade A oil is this because the grade C oil doesn't have this, and this. Now this is what separates it. This is why I can justify my price being this much, because I'm not using an oil or a concentration that you can get in a Latapa or a Moth. You can't even get this shit in a designer. You have to go above. You almost have to go to the source itself to get this. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's the only thing that I can see justifying that $200 price tag for something that's new. Hell, even niche fragrances, and it's something that I think the niche has been gotten better with. Whereas when they have fragrances, they don't mind sending them to discounters because they know that it's not too many people that's gonna go to their actual website and buy a fragrance. I'm sorry, but I don't know too many people that goes to actual Parfums de Marly website to buy a bottle of Leighton exclusive Hautane. I've never heard of it. People that want to buy Parfums de Marly are mostly fragrance enthusiasts, and they know exactly where to go. We can go to Perfume Buy. We can go to Joma Shop. It's so many websites. Gift Express. It's so many websites that we have out here now to where you don't have to go to the direct. You don't have to go directly to the brand itself. You can go to one of the discounters, and I think that's what's kind of helped niche brands get themselves out there a lot more, instead of just being tied down to their one singular network of their own website. Let's see. Oh shit, why I messed up some stuff. My fault, y'all. Recently sprayed vintage radio and it's way better than it initially was. The Palo Santo popped off my skin. That's what's up. Okay, here we go. I'll go towards artisan indie. People are making experiences that will blow your mind, and I found companies that will do 30 ml bottles for $30. Hit me up, fam. Let me know some of those, because that's what. There are some artisan or artistry brands. Like I have this one. It's like an Italian brand. They make a 30 ml. It's nice, man. It's not, but it's very much so a unique fragrance. It's not something that's mass appeal. I don't know if I would consider this one indie, but I think this is more so niche. But like this right here, this is an affordable brand. I want to say affordable niche brand is that. But this is also one of those niche brands that lean to the artistry side of things. It's not mass appealing. I like it, but it definitely leans a little bit more artistry. This is the type of brand that I would like to think when we're speaking of like artistry or brands that focus more so on the artisan side of things. That's more so what I think about. And then that one does have like a little bit of like a European background to it too. So yeah. All right, number 1, niche. Number 2, indie. Number 3, designer. I need to know, why do you have designers in number 3? That's what I'm curious. I'm not questioning it. I'm just curious as a thought process. Because for me, out of this whole thing, it would be designer 1, niche 2, indie 3. And I say indie 3 just because I really don't have the most experience with too many indie fragrances. I much more so have it on the designer and niche side of things. I mess with them all. Natif Perfumes has some hitters. Indie House out of Louisiana. Okay. I need to check that one out. Natif Fragrances. I need to check that one out. 50% oil concentration, in my opinion, just sits closer to the skin. Hey, telling you, man, look. Y'all want to get some high oil concentration, that oiled up collection from Nazar? thick, peanut butter thick. Shit, crazy. Um. Also someone who works with taxes, indies may have to charge those prices from a business standpoint because of what they have to pay to run a business on their own. I can see that. I can see that. And then if they might have to, oh man, then you gotta think about it too. In today's times, what if they have to pay like tariffs because they're getting their oil from overseas? You know what I'm saying? That's something that I didn't even think about that till just now. Was that indie house new or trying to introduce themselves to the Western consumers? Which one? Art. Art and fragrance vibes. Let me know which one you're talking about. I have not one idea which one you're talking about, fam. I have not a single idea. But man, I just wanted to ask that because for me, I do think that all three of them have its place. And then if you notice, we've had waves of all three. Like we had the waves of the design. Well, not even wave of designer because designers have always been there. But then we had that niche time to where it almost created like some type of exclusivity to it. Making it seem exclusive to have this Parfums de Marley, this Amouage. That's what niche did their real good job. And then indie, I think the indie is going to be something that in the future is going to have a much bigger place and a much bigger mantle than what it currently has. Because right now, it's a lot of confusion when it comes to the indie side of things. Like we have so many, like I know like City Rhythm, that's a brand that I want to try. I want to try that brand so bad, fam. I just can't see myself paying those prices for one fragrance, whereas that price I can get 6 of my affordable clone company fragrances, and that'll do more for the channel compared to the personal liking of me just wanting to get CD Rhythm for my personal self. So that's kind of where I struggle with that at. But I definitely appreciate y'all insight and opinions on what y'all think, which one you prefer more and which one you like, because again, it's getting to a point to where I can see indie being a little bit more popular and somewhat taking over in a few years, somewhat like how the Latafas and the Middle Eastern companies are taking over now. That's the main thing that has a storm now. I can see it soon going to a point to where indie, I don't know how, but indie is going to make their way into the market, and it's really going to be something that a lot of people look into. So, boom. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna be the show right there. Your boy do got to get ready for work, so we got to get up out of here. For everybody that's wondering, new video will be dropping today. It should be dropping like around 12. Classic Wholesale Perfumes. I'm taking y'all in there, giving y'all my experience from last time. They did have some new stuff in there. They still have the Latafa table for $30. They have some new fragrances on that same Latafa table, so you will see that in the video. They also have some new fragrances. That's where I picked up my Tarati Electrique from. And then Game of Spades Emerald. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hit the bell for the YouTube algorithm. That way you can be updated whenever I drop this content. We'll be doing a live stream tomorrow, 9 a.m. Make sure you got your bell notification set. We out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day. Have a phenomenal day. We out. Much love.